welcome to Bath. As you stand here, look around. You aren't just in a city, you're in a time capsule. For 2 millennia, people have come to this valley seeking healing, pleasure, and inspiration. Beneath our feet, the earth is boiling the only natural hot springs in Britain. The Romans built a temple and a bathing complex here 2,000 years ago, and today we stand surrounded by the honey-coloured limestone that gives Bath its UNESCO World Heritage status. Let's begin our journey. Visiting Bath today is a reminder that we are part of a long thread of history. We walk the same stones as the Romans. We admire the same vistas as the Georgians. Bath is a lesson in how to build a city for people, not just for machines. It's walkable, it's beautiful, and it's got a history that feels like a good novel you can't put down. Whether you're here for the Pulteney Bridge views, the geometry of the circus, or simply to pretend you're living in a period drama, Bath is a place that stays with you. So, pack your walking shoes, bring a camera, and maybe a notebook to jot down your own Regency-era thoughts. Bath is waiting. The city is built from Bath stone, a gorgeous, warm, oolitic limestone. It's what gives the city that honey gold glow at sunset. Even when it's raining, which, let's be honest, it does in England, the city just looks cozy and gold. This is the Guildhall Market. It's been here for over 800 years. That's right, before the Tudors, before the Victorians, and long before fancy coffee chains took over the high street, this was the place to trade. And the best part, it hasn't lost an ounce of its charm. Step inside and you're instantly hit with a mix of smells, roasted coffee, old books, fresh pastries, and something distinctly earthy. Before we start shopping, we've got to talk about these. See these little bronze pillars? They look like oversized toadstools, don't they? Well, these are the famous nails. In the old days, when traders wanted to strike a deal, they'd do it right here on these tables. If you were paying your debts or making a transaction, you'd slap the cash down on the nail. It's actually where we get the phrase paying on the nail, meaning to pay immediately and in full. If you were a local merchant and you didn't pay your debts on the nail, well, your reputation was basically toast. It's a tiny slice of retail history. These pillars have seen more business deals than a modern-day investment banker's smartphone. So, next time you see them, show a little respect you're standing on the site of centuries-old commerce. Now, let's talk craftsmanship. One of the absolute gems of the Guildhall Market is its deep connection to traditional leather. You aren't going to find mass-produced, rubber-stamped, faux leather-ish goods here. The leather vendors in this market are the real deal. We're talking full-grain hide, hand-stitched seams, and belts that will literally outlive you. And don't get me started on the snacks. You cannot walk through here without being tempted by the local fudge or a fresh, warm pastry. The Guildhall Market isn't a place you run into for a quick errand. It's a place you get lost in. You go in for a gift, and 3 hours later, you're walking out with a leather journal, a bag of gourmet coffee, and a weirdly specific vintage postcard of Bath. As we walk toward the River Avon, we come to Pulteney Bridge. It's one of only 4 bridges in the world, with shops built across the full span on both sides, much like the Ponte Vecchio. It was commissioned in 1774 by Sir William Pulteney to connect his estate to the city centre. Pulteney is a bridge that decided to be a high street. Completed in 1774, it was designed by Robert Adam. Now here's the history bit. It was modelled after the Ponte Vecchio in Florence. The bridge was the gateway. But in a classic twist of history, it was modified over the years. Shops were shoved into every available nook, and it became one of the most photographed spots in England. It's elegant, it's quirky, and yes, you can actually buy a coffee and a slice of cake while standing in the middle of the river. When the sun hits the water of the River Avon, creating a glistening reflection against the stone arches of the bridge and the soft roar of the horseshoe weir below, it is impossible not to feel inspired. It's a gentle reminder that even the most functional structures can be works of art if we choose to build them with vision. If you've ever visited the beautiful city of Bath, you've almost certainly stopped here. This iconic horseshoe-shaped waterfall, the Pulteney Weir. It's the perfect backdrop for a selfie, but did you know this isn't just a pretty face? It's actually a Victorian-era civil engineering masterpiece with a very practical past. First off, let's talk shape. Most weirs are straight lines, but this one curves into a distinct horseshoe. Why? It's not just for aesthetics. The curve helps distribute the pressure of the River Avon more evenly, preventing the stone from crumbling under the force of the water during floods. It's smart, it's sturdy, and it's been standing since the 1700s. But why did they build it in the first place? Back then, it wasn't about tourism, it was about survival. The weir was originally constructed as part of a flood defense system to protect the city, but it also served a vital industrial role. By creating a pool of deep water above it, the weir ensured a consistent water level, which was essential for powering the mills and industrial works that once lined the banks of the Avon. Think of it as the city's water battery. It allowed Bath to harness the power of the river to manufacture goods, fueling the growth of the city long before we were all showing up with cameras and lattes. Today, the weir is a designated Area of Outstanding Natural Beauty. Well, practically, it's become a key part of the city's drainage system, managing water levels to prevent those pesky floods. It's also a favourite spot for local wildlife, and occasionally, those brave enough to paddleboard. So, next time you lean over the railing to take a photo, remember, you're not just looking at a waterfall. You're looking at hundreds of years of flood prevention, industrial ingenuity, and the literal backbone of Bath's riverfront. Not bad for a pile of stone, right? Now, let's talk shapes. If you're a fan of symmetry, prepare to have your mind blown. Welcome to the circus. It's a massive circle, split into 3 equal segments, but look closer at the details. Each level uses a different classical order: Doric at the bottom, Ionic in the middle, and Corinthian at the top. It's like a textbook of architecture that you can live in. Even the roofline features carved acorns, a nod to the legend of King Bladud, the guy who supposedly discovered the thermal springs of Bath when his pigs got healed after rolling in the mud. We'll end our walk by heading uphill to the 18th century masterpiece, the Royal Crescent. During the Georgian era, Bath became the playground of the elite. Architects John Wood the Elder and Younger designed these streets to mimic the symmetry of ancient Rome. Look at the circus, a perfect circle of houses designed to represent the sun and moon. Then continue to the Royal Crescent, a sweep of 30 houses that forms the curve of a giant amphitheatre. Why does this curve draw us in? Why do visitors from every corner of the globe find themselves standing on the grass before it, quieted by the sight? It is the power of proportion. Wood relied on the classical principles of the Italian architect Andrea Palladio. Each house is tied together by a giant order of Ionic columns, rising from a rusticated ground floor. But it is the crescent shape itself that provides the magic. It creates an invitation. It feels like an embrace. By breaking away from the straight street lines of the era, Wood created a space that feels communal yet monumental, private yet public. So, when you come, don't just walk through it. Let it surround you, because once you've experienced the magic of Bath, you'll always find a reason to come back. Bath has a way of staying with you long after you've left. It's a city that asks you to slow down, to notice the detail in the masonry, the sound of the water, and the warmth of a good meal. It's a place of restoration in every sense of the word. In the next video, we explore Bath streets and sounds. Make sure to like and subscribe, hit that notification button to stay in touch with new videos. I'll see you in the streets of Bath.